This is WAFF 48, your first source for news. Now, Tom Kinnemer, Missy Mean, Roy Ackland, Sky Track Weather, and Tom Keene Sports.
North Alabama is a mixture of southern charm and high technology. Traditionally known for agriculture, the Tennessee River Valley is also home to the nation's leading rocket scientists who were responsible for sending man to the moon. We have our eyes clearly on the future. I'm Tom Kinnemer.
And I'm Missy Ming. The growth of Huntsville began when rocket expert Werner von Braun and his scientists came here in the 1950s. Today, we're the fastest growing area in Alabama, a sort of Silicon Valley South. Our close ties to the space program made this a very emotional year. It was Alabama scientists who supervised the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger.
All day, people here have been trying to balance the shock with the need to answer the question, what happened? The shock is clear, the answer unknown. But just as Marshall is deeply involved in sending the shuttle into space, it'll be just as deeply involved in the investigation. Barber Ronnie Sadler was here 19 years ago when the Apollo fire killed astronauts Grissom, White, and Chaffee. Today, he says, the mood is much the same.
Like you just couldn't believe it. It's like your mind wouldn't accept what your eyes had seen. Something that would take some time, if ever, to get over.
Grief in the valley was so deep, WAFF 48 News traveled to Houston for live coverage of the National Memorial Service.
As the Tennessee Valley watched, their thoughts went from pride and jubilation to disbelief and devastation. Stunned, we came to realize how much the Challenger tragedy affected our lives. Now, North Alabama hungers for knowledge of what went wrong and how the space industry will be affected here at home. Friday, memorial services will be held at the Johnson Space Flight Center in Houston. Nick Miller will be there with a special live satellite report Friday at 5:30 on WAFF 48 First News.
We provided daily coverage of this tragedy for several weeks, including the congressional hearings and the resignation of the local NASA director.
The shuttle tragedy and the perception that television only covers negative news set us on a search for good news in the Tennessee Valley. What began as a week-long series of reports continued as 30-second vignettes, which aired throughout the broadcast day.
This edition of Good News Tennessee Valley is brought to you by Underground Guitars.
I'm Todd Terry. It was an extraordinary effort to save hundreds of jobs. Cheesebro Prawns had announced the closing of its Huntsville plant, but officials from Huntsville and Decatur banded together to save it. The group headed to corporate headquarters on a job-saving mission, and it worked. Now these employees are relieved, to say the least, and showed their gratitude with a big bouquet of balloons. And that's Good News Tennessee Valley.
The vignettes combined with the news series resulted in an hour-long primetime special.
There are groups in every county of the Tennessee Valley who are working daily to keep our history alive. Pam Carlton has details on those efforts in Limestone County.
Preserving the past to build toward the future. It's a process that takes years of dedication and hard work. In Limestone County, those efforts are well underway.
I think one of the nice things about the city of Athens and Limestone County is that its citizens are so very, very interested in preserving its historic past.
Our roots are here. And I started in 1916, and those little chairs were there, and the one chair in particular, the one with arm missing, was converted into a swing.
No other station project has created such a positive response from WAFF viewers, and Good News Tennessee Valley is now a permanent part of Channel 48's community involvement.
But WAFF 48 News produces several weekly segments, including our troubleshooter, who helps people solve consumer problems, Health Watch, focusing on the latest medical information, and Wednesday's Child, which supports the Big Brother, Big Sister organization.
Heather is 8 years old and filled with compassion. She was very concerned about these junior astronauts. Though her mind is clear, she cannot walk or stand. But having cerebral palsy is just part of being Heather. Does that bother you?
No.
Why not? Heather wanted to see all the exhibits. She loves to go places and see new things. With her father out of town and her mother having medical problems, going places hasn't been easy. But if you can be a little patient, she will touch your life.
We also air special news series throughout the year. One profiled a woman whose legacy of courage is still with us.
Naturally, I do not like the idea of dying. Don't like that at all. But everything that lives must die. So dying is a natural part of living. It's a little hard to accept whenever it happens to you, but that's what you have to do, is accept the fact that it's not just you. It's every other person in the world. Every day that you live, you have one day less to live.
A couple of months after our series aired, Catherine died, as she wished, at home.
WAFF news coverage also extends to the Alabama State House and a very difficult governor's race.
Tuesday, June 3rd, turn to WAFF 48 for Decision 86, the most comprehensive returns ever assembled in the history of the Tennessee Valley. Robert Lane, Pam Carlton, Todd Terry, and Bob Hamilton will cover the Alabama vote live via satellite from across the state. At 5:30, the 48 News team will report live from all 4 gubernatorial headquarters. Then from 9 to 10:30, an hour and a half of continuous coverage as it happens. For the most extensive coverage of Alabama politics, turn to WAFF 48, Tuesday, June 3rd for Decision 86.
It was the most important decision affecting the future of our state. And only one television station brought you that decision live. When the candidates heard, you heard.
Bill Baxley received the majority of the legally cast votes.
WAFF 48 News had the only Tennessee Valley reporter, Pam Carlton, in Birmingham all week, reporting live via satellite. When it is important to you, when it really counts, you can count on WAFF 48 News.
But we've also had our share of fun.
The Tennessee Valley is a great place to live, and we love to show it off.
Whoa! It's blazing hot out here on the range, but come August 15th and 16th, this weatherman's going to be one cool cowboy at the first annual Tennessee Valley Classic All-Pro Rodeo. Me and my friends Tom Kennemer, Missy Ming, Nick Miller, and Tom Keene hope you'll mosey on down for reduced ticket prices at WAFF 48 Family Night. That's real live rodeo, and it's all going to happen at the VBCC, where it's nice and cool.
Come home to NBC. Had a day of it, come on home. There's a place where your friends are always waiting for you. Make a night of it, come on home. Home on NBC. Come on home, America, from sea to shining sea. Come on home, why don't you come on home, America, come home to NBC.
There are many other events and projects we've participated in, like the annual Dixie Cup Regatta on Lake Guntersville,
the annual television auction for Big Brothers, Big Sisters,
and Roy's Toys for needy children.
WAFF 48 is committed to the Tennessee Valley. We're people who care.